Okay, all right. Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank AIOS for giving me this opportunity. And okay, it's coming. Fine, fantastic. What if, I'm sure each one of us have had scenarios like this where we have a soft cataract and you're not able to chop it, right? So how do we do it? So one of the most important thing in chopping a soft cataract is your chopper or your dialer. It is very, very important because you need more surface area because you're trying to separate which is very soft. If you have something very thin, then you'll just go through and through. So this is one of the dialers which I've designed. So this is very useful to chop even soft, hard, black. Actually, this is just a dialer, not even a chopper. And this is more than enough. This is the only thing which I use. Now, the technique in chopping a soft cataract is, first thing is you have to do a little long chops, take the chopper dialer into the periphery, move towards the tip, and you have to do a very deep chop. Once you come close to the tip, then move sideways. Now, this is very, very important. When you're moving towards the tip, should be a quick movement. When you're moving sideways, it should be a slow movement. Remember, quick movement towards the tip. Why? Because you are trying to cut it. When you're moving sideways, you're trying to separate it. You cannot go fast. If you go fast, you'll go through and through. Okay, so remember this small thing. Now I'll show you the same thing scenario here. So it is a deep, long chop. When I'm moving sideways, I move it very, very slow. So this will ensure you have a direct chop even in these kind of very soft cataracts. Very similarly, I'll show you again. When I'm moving the chop towards the tip, the chopper moves. When I'm next to the tip, then I move sideways. I think the rest of the procedure is pretty simple. I think what I do is once I've separated it is, then I take one of the pieces, prolapse it. I usually remove my second instrument so that there's much better fluidics within the chamber, and then I remove the piece. And this is a technique which is very repeatable. Every time it's very, very consistent. Here you can see how friable all the pieces are. It's all, as you're chopping, it's all breaking apart. And even when I rotate, you can see it how it's falling apart. But the same thing, it's more of a mechanical. See, all my parameters is 0. I'm just under irrigation, and then I do the chopping. Now, let's have a look at a different technique. Let's say, okay, this is where, okay, the chopping didn't happen. So the first one is the regular deep chop, which I showed you earlier. So one more way to handle this kind of cataract is where you do a small trench. So you can see that a small trench, position your phaco tip in that trench, then you can chop it, just like a modification of divide and conquer. Now, one more technique of handling these soft cataracts is where you create a well in the center first, okay? There you can see, right, where I create a well in the center. Do not remove the epinucleus or the cortex. Create a saucer-like shape, like bowl like this, and then remove the epinucleus. So let's have a look how this looks like. So initially, even in this cataract, I just to show you how soft the cataract is. I'll just show you the primary chop, which I showed you earlier, where we create a very deep chop, deep long chop. So if you see closely, the separation is happening, but very, very slow. Okay. So what I do is, okay, let's try something else for this particular case. So I stop at this point, and what I do is I do the technique which I showed you here, where I create a saucer in the center. I remove the central part first. So you can see me removing the central part. So once the central part is removed, what I do is I redirect the phaco tip sideways, okay, and then hold the epinucleus, and the whole lens comes as a bolus. See, it's very simple. So coming to the next, I think here also, I think I'm showing the same, probably the same technique. Yeah, I think I'm showing the same technique. So again, here I just, showed you the way of doing that deep chops. Then, but if you remove the saucer, it is also a very easy, simple technique, and it's just a matter of seconds. You can remove the complete lens. Now, what if you want to do something else, okay, even more easier than what you're seeing here? It's a very simple technique where you, usually I operate with a 45-degree tip. It's very useful, 45-degree, because you can easily manipulate. With the 45-degree, what you do is you face the phaco tip downwards, okay? Once you face it downwards, so I'll just stop the video, I'll not, okay. I'll come back to that. So when you're facing the tip downwards, what you need to do is, if you can see my mouse, you have to move the phaco tip temporarily along the axis, right, left, right, left. You see how the pieces come out now? That's it. It's so simple. No chopping, no nothing. Again, just a matter of seconds. And this is very, very repeatable. Okay, so again, I go bevel down temporarily along the rexus, right, left, and I'm done. It's very, very simple. Okay. Now, let's play a different scenario. What if you have, let's say, you have a plate like this. Okay, you don't know what to do. Okay, a simple thing is you take your dialer, go below the lens, lift it. While you're lifting it, press step 2 in your phaco tip. Okay, so that it holds it. Only 2, not 3. Then when you're in 2, you get a good hold, and then you can finish the rest of the piece. So the point is, when you have a scenario like a soft cataract, it can be pretty challenging, but always before you start the surgery, think of a particular technique which you're going to do, and have a plan so that handling becomes much more easier. Because sometimes unconsciously we go into the surgery without thinking anything. We'll say, let's see, we'll try to do something. In that attitude shouldn't be there. Always have a plan and then execute the same. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Naren, for showcasing how you deal with your soft cataract.